These are abrasions and bruises on my mom's leg.
It was one story after another. Families reaching out to Arizona's family to tell us about the pain and suffering their loved ones were reportedly experiencing while staying at the Heritage Village Assisted Living Center in Mesa.
Happy birthday.
The allegations of abuse and neglect got the attention of the governor and Arizona Attorney General Chris Mesa, who filed a lawsuit against Heritage Village last month. Now we've learned that Heritage Village has agreed to go into receivership and allow a third party to come in and take full control of their operations. Appointing a receiver is just the first step in protecting the residents of Heritage Village, Mesa said. The residents of this facility and their families deserve much better care and support than they've received in the past, and this is a significant step in ensuring they do. Dana Kennedy is president of AARP of Arizona. She said it's extremely rare to have someone take over an assisted living community, but considering all the allegations of elder abuse and the 100+ violations Heritage Village has been hit with in the past several years, something had to be done. Kennedy is hopeful changes will now be made to protect residents.
Every single resident has their own special needs, and making sure that it's not assembly line care, that they're actually opening up the books and making sure that the residents are getting the appropriate care, physical therapy, occupational therapy, any type of dietary restrictions that they may have, and also making sure that the direct care workers, the people who are providing the direct care, that they also have the appropriate training and that they have the appropriate staffing ratio as well.
It is a step in the right direction.
Renee Karras has been actively involved in pushing for more oversight at Heritage Village ever since she pulled her 84-year-old mother out of there after she was reportedly attacked by another patient. Karras was pleased to hear new administrators are coming in.
It's unbelievable to me how greed plays a huge part in this business when it's about people and about our parents and about elderly. Hopefully, going forward, things will take a turn and things will be addressed the way they're supposed to be addressed.
Now, the director of the management company that's been running Heritage Village released this statement that read in part, a protracted court process would not have benefited anyone, least of all our residents. At the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing, and that's for our residents to be safe, happy, and have the best possible quality of life. It's important to point out this agreement does not put an end to the Heritage Village lawsuit. I'm told the AG's office will ask the court to find new owners to run the facility properly. If and when that happens, we'll let you know.